Good morning and welcome our viewers to a new episode of your show Flexwell. This is me, Abdulatif Lanizi. I'm your presenter and I have with me Coach Jose. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning. How are you today?
Well, I'm actually good, really good. What about you, Coach?
I'm great. I'm looking forward for today's show.
Well, me too. So, of course, we have today the exercises that our coach going to give us. So, we are really excited. Stay tuned and now we will start. Welcome back, our viewers, and welcome back, Coach. So, Coach, what do we have for the first warm-up or stretching exercise?
Now, for the first approach, we're gonna go for something that always is important, working on the core, but mainly today we're gonna target the spine. So it's gonna be the spine twist.
Spine twist?
Yeah.
How we do that? Because I have nothing about it. All what I know is that when we do exercises, we target muscles, not the spine. So why we're doing it, Coach?
It's a name for an exercise, but again, we mobilize joints and we stretch muscles. So we're gonna stretch muscles.
So we're gonna stretch muscles,
Yeah,
of course.
definitely.
So wonderful. So, Coach, what are the muscles that we're going to focus at doing this stretch?
Now, mainly lower back and the small muscles that connect the vertebrae, they will be engaged in a stretch. Normally, it's something that people don't take much in consideration, but should be important in your life.
It should, and of course, since you are giving us, it has to be important. So, Coach, are we going to do it like with only one level, or does it have like multiple levels?
The level, it's going to be defined by the range of motion. Basically, today we're going to see not something different, it's just common sense. We get ourselves in a position, and from that point, we're going to increase the length that we can manage to stretch. So basically, no added weight, no nothing fancy, it's just range of motion.
Range of motion. No equipment?
No equipment.
No. Good. So, how many sets and repeats before we start?
Now, we're gonna work on a time frame. So we can increase from 20, 30, 40 seconds until a time frame that fits in the release that we need for the workout.
Wonderful. But is there maximum limit for the time frame? Like a lot of people may do it, or some people may do it like for a whole minute without resting.
It ain't a problem. If you are going for a stretch for 1 minute, it's common sense. You should take your time when you stretch. You need to give some time for the muscle to adapt. When you stretch, it's like a rubber band effect. You stretch the muscle and the muscle will react to shorten the distance. So you should stretch until the point that you feel comfortable, and then after a few seconds the muscle will relax and you grow a little bit more in the range of motion. That's what we're going to work on today.
Wonderful. Thank you, Coach. And now we will start it. So stay tuned and I hope you like this exercise.
Okay, welcome back. Let's jump into the first exercise. We're going to work a little on the stretch, some mobility for the lower back. Some people has been mentioned that. So, and it's always important to free as much as possible the lower back for you to be able to move as smooth as possible. Okay, from this point, we're going to be on the floor sideways. What's going to happen? You're going to bring yourself down. You're going to be sideways from this point. A little flexion on the bottom leg, that way you're going to be more stable. The top leg, it will come, a good alignment, a good reference, will have the knee aligned with the hip. Now, when that happens, to help out with that position, you're going to try to place the hand on top of the knee. Again, don't be shy. If you are able to bring the knee a little bit higher, no problem. From that point, hand on top of the knee, the other one will be placed on top of the rib cage. From that point, you're gonna twist your upper body towards the side of the elbow. To help out with that motion, you're gonna look to the elbow as much as possible. You reach the limit, you bring it back. Smoothly, you go down and raise it up. A thing that you have to keep always in mind is you have to keep on breathing as smooth as possible. Things to avoid, holding your breath. And when you have to hold your breath, you already went too above what your body can deliver. Now, you performed, you feel that you can do a little bit more. You can place the hand up, and from that point, you're going to perform the same thing. The main idea is to be able to place the hand and shoulder on the floor on the other side. That will be your main goal. If we can talk about that, that will be your reference. Smoothly as possible and bringing it low as possible. Now, again, talking about the details, hip align with the shoulders, knee align with the hip as a reference. If needed, place the hand on top of the knee just to avoid for the leg to move when you rotate to the other side. So it's more or less working as an anchor, and big range of motion, shoulder going towards the floor smoothly as possible. Now, all those details, revisit them, always maintain them in mind. If today you can only do a little angle, a little range of motion, don't be shy, just keep on working, give some time to the body, and all of that will happen. Thanks for tuning in.
So this is the end for our first exercise. We are warmed up and ready, so stay tuned, don't go anywhere because we will be back with the main exercise. Welcome back our viewers, and welcome back coach, and of course thank you for the first exercise. So what do we have for the main one?
For the main exercise today, we will listen a little to some of you back home. You reach for us, you try to build some ideas, manifest some concerns about having something a little bit more intense. So today we're gonna present that in a way that intensity should be there.
Wonderful. So what do we have exactly for an exercise?
Now,
what is it called?
For exercise, we're gonna have the ski hops. As usually, we're gonna start in a very friendly option, and we're gonna take it until a very high option.
So there are levels.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Wonderful. So you coach, you start explaining the levels. Why is that?
Now, again, we need to fit everyone inside of the exercise. So what it means, we're going to start easier for the person that normally doesn't do any kind of exercise or are back home and doing something simple, and at the same time we're going to build it up until a point that you have those people out there that go to the gym and are looking for something extra. So we're going to tailor fit everything to them.
Wonderful. So coach, for this exercise, what are the muscles that we are going to target, and what are the muscles that we're going to need to get this exercise right?
As a prime movers, we're going to target the lower body part, so mainly muscles from the legs. Of course, the rest of the body also has to be engaged in a stable manner for you to be able to output as much power as possible.
Wonderful. So with this exercise, is there going to be repeats and sets for it?
Yeah, for this exercise, we're going to place this in a way that you're going to use reps. You feel comfortable, you keep on growing in reps. And also, we're going to build a time frame for set.
Wonderful. So, coach, you explained the exercise, you gave us everything that we need. When exactly that we're going to start?
If you are ready, let's get it on.
Let's get it on.
Okay, welcome back. Main exercise. As in the introduction we talked about, some of you have been talking about building some intensity, coming up with something more challenging. Okay, we're gonna just find a simple exercise and try to extrapolate as much as possible. Now, for today, we're gonna start from the easiest position. Name of the exercise is the ski hops. So basically, you move yourself to one side, perform a squat, and coming back. So, simple stuff. Feet align with the shoulders, more or less. Put yourself in a comfortable balanced position. From that point, shoulders down, keep your back flat. That means that you have to engage your core muscles. Means you bring the abs in, squeeze a little the glutes, and that is a good start. From that point, you should use at this moment the hands in a way that helps you with the balance. So what's going to happen? You're going to move one leg to the outside. So you move supposedly the right leg to the right side. So you move it, you bring the other one, same alignment, hip or shoulder alignment. You perform a little squat and you move back. Step to the side and building it. Again, stepping. If you can increase the length of that side step, it will be great. In a way, don't step too close. Then when you squat, you struggle sometimes with the balance. So keep it a little distance, more stable. You bring it down, you feel comfortable, you step a little bit wider and coming back. Now you start to feel really comfortable and confident with the movement. You do a little hop. So you jump, you bring it down, you jump back, you feel that you can go deeper. It will be great. Smooth, side to side, until a point that you already tick all the boxes, you feel great, you feel comfortable. From that point, you jump to the side and use the balance of your arms. Side to side, you feel great, you jump even wider and smooth. So basically, if we know well humans, you're going to try to jump into this as soon as possible. Now, take your time. Build yourselves through the intensity, build awareness of the motion, tick all the boxes, revisit the episode, take this section, even if you record it with your mobile phone, later on to check the details, it will be great. Use it as an advantage to you. Please stay safe, stay healthy. Thanks for tuning in.
Corn has many benefits for the body, including preventing heart disease, lowering blood pressure, and stimulating nerve cells in the brain. In addition to containing high calories and many important vitamins and minerals.
Welcome back, our viewers. So right now we are with Dr. Wael Al-Asaq, and he's one of the best of physiotherapists that we have here in Kuwait, and he's going to help us and to give us all the information that we want in regard of this wonderful field. Welcome back, Doctor, and thank you for being here with us.
My pleasure.
So, Doctor, can you tell us in regards of information that we always had and known, which is the joint wearing, or AO? OA, yes. What does it stands for, which is OA, and why we have this problem?
It stands for osteoarthritis, which is the wearing of the joints, and it's mostly occur with the large joints, basically the knees, the hips, and also it takes place in the spine. For some people also there is OA that takes place in the shoulders and neck, for sure, the whole spine. And it happens across ages, although we see it with mostly older adults, but also it can start earlier. And to be honest, we used to see these kind of changes with older adults in the previously, but today also we started to see it with younger adults.
Why?
People in their 30s, 40s, yes. They started to have wearing of the joints, that it wasn't like this before. Before it is all mostly attached to older adults. That's why when they see someone with degeneration of the joints, they think this is an older individual. Older adults has to do with some normal physiological changes and with some environmental changes that takes place over long period of time. That's why we mostly see it with older adults. The degeneration that takes place in the knee, for example, the shoulder, the spine, it's mostly because of the instability that takes place in the joint. The joint is like, for example, this joint, okay? Yes. These are bones. Everybody is born with these bones. These bones are not doing anything. They are waiting for the muscles to move them. So if we have any problem with the muscles that move the joints, it's the problem with the muscles, not the yes. joint. But the joint will pay the price. The joint will pay the price because there will be more degeneration. And if we want to do any operation, we will not do anything for the muscles, but we will go and do replacement for the joint. So the joint is the victim, and we think that it is the problem. That's why with lots of people, as we stated before, people have changed their daily activities. People used to sit on the ground. They used to sit and to do many activities when, as they are resting on the floor, squatting down, which means that they are doing this or these activities repeatedly every day, multiple times. Now, these kind of activities are only done by people who are doing high level of sport.
Exactly.
And anybody else is not doing it because they have changed their normal activity of daily living. They are rarely sit and eat on the floor. They rarely sit and rest on the floor. They rarely sit and get up from the floor. That's why they lose the flexibility of the joint. They lose the stability that is responsibility of the muscles. So once the muscles gets weaker, then the joint is no longer stable. Once the joint loses its stability, this means that there will be more friction within the joint. And if you have more friction within the joint at certain areas, especially if you go to the end range, you will be squeezing the meniscus, and it will cause tearing of the meniscus until the meniscus goes away. Then there will be wearing of the two bone surfaces. This is what drives people to do unnecessary operations sometimes, like total knee replacement. It's the same thing that takes place, for example, in the shoulder, and this is the shoulder.
Yes.
Okay. We have this joint exactly like this joint. The structure that is responsible to move the shoulder are the muscles. The structure that's responsible to move the knee joint is the muscles.
Muscles, yeah.
So if we have muscle imbalance, like a lot of people are sitting with rounded shoulders, which means that these muscles are shorter than the back muscles. This will displace the shoulder, leads to instability, which means leads to more friction and then more wearing of the joint. That's why sometimes people will start with having clicking sounds, and then it goes to pain, and then it goes to severe pain, inflammation, and then sometimes if it's like total wearing of the joint, sometimes people are recommended to do total shoulder replacement. So
Total shoulder replacement.
yes, because they have to replace the whole joint. Okay, so that's why when we say OA or osteoarthritis, it is a mechanical problem. And the question, can we prevent ourselves from such a fate or not?
Can we?
Would you like to know that?
Yeah, actually, I really would like to know that.
Yes, everyone is capable of preventing him or herself from going to that path by simply changing very simple things.
Which is?
Like including some physical activity to their program, and those activities are not necessary to be like great things that they have to do. They don't have to run a marathon, they don't have to carry 200 kg of weight. They simply need to add some activities to their daily life. And if they included certain activities to be part of their daily life, like going back and forth to the floor, maintaining the minimum level of flexibility of the muscles, they will protect the joints from being wearing. Sometimes people think that the more you use your joint, you will lose them. When in fact, the more you use them, you will keep them. You don't keep your joints without moving. If you want to keep your joints, you have to keep moving them and move the muscles surrounding them. Once you don't use it, then you will lose it. This is the problem. Okay?
There's really a huge misconception about that. If you use them, you will lose them. And then we found out that no, if I use it, well, actually, I would keep it more.
Yes, if you don't use it, then you will lose it. Because a lot of people think that when they sit for a long time, sit comfortably, they don't use their joints, so this will give them longer life.
Exactly.
When in fact, if you don't use your joints, this means that the fluid within the joints, what we call the synovial fluid, will not be produced. If the synovial fluid is not produced, this means that there is no circulation within the joint, because the synovial fluid is the fluid that is responsible on nourishing the joint surfaces. If you don't produce enough synovial fluid, this means that you will not nourish the joints, which means that you will not feed the joints. Then there will be, if there was any friction, any scratch that takes place, it will not heal, and then there will be deterioration after that. So what we need is to make sure that the joint that is being used, it will get more blood supply. Blood supply comes with the necessary fluid and nutrients, then it will be filtrated to the joints by changing the pressure. If you stand on the joint, there will be positive pressure, which takes the fluid out of the joint. When you move, you will have negative pressure, which means it will suck the new fluid within the joint. So there will be like circulation
Replacement.
Replacement.
Yes.
So you will bring more nourishment to the joint, which will help to regenerate if you have any problem within the joint. So if you don't move that kind of movement, then you will not feed your joints. Then if you have any problem with the joint, it will not heal as fast as it should be. So if we think of the car, if you want to use it, you spend more fuel and then you have to replace that. If you don't replace it, then you will stop eventually. And if you don't move, this means that there will be problem with the tires, there will be problem with the discs around the tires, there will be problem in the engine, there will be so if you don't move the car, you will run into different problems.
Many.
The important thing is that to keep it moving and keep replacing the loss of the fluid. And this is part of the life. That's why it's very important for us to know that we as human beings, movement what brings us life. Those people who don't move, they will have problem with the blood, the supply, they will have problem with the nervous system, they will have problem with the different systems within the body, let's say the muscles, the skeletal muscles, the joints, they will have what we call changing the biomechanics of the normal human movement. And then there will be more friction, more degeneration, and then more replacement to the joints. So our message to the viewers today, you can always prevent knee replacement or any joint replacement as long as you keep it moving. Even if you have some pain, do not stop from moving, because you might have problem at the beginning, but the stronger the muscles will be, then more protection will be to the joints, and then you will have a better movement later on.
Well, it's really wonderful. And I liked one of the same things that you said, doctor, which is, subhanAllah, that many of the problems that we have will vanish and we will prevent it as long as we keep it moving. I like the slogan, which is keep it moving. So, thank you, doctor, for this wonderful information. I actually didn't know that the joint can be replaced, but thanks to you, now I know that. And thank you all the viewers for watching this part. I hope you liked and enjoyed it, and we will see you for the next time.